Right, I know. Right. Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to be with you this Sunday. As you know, my name is Ashutosh. We meet each Sunday at 8 a.m. US Pacific time, which is time in the west coast of the US, and learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Hindi University. Or you can go to our main page, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University, where you will find all the useful information that we have about the classes, the Zoom link to join the class, also the practice sessions that we have multiple times across the week and different time zones. If you missed any of the previous classes, also you can find the classes structured in an incremental fashion. Okay. So that's a very useful information there, and you will also find the books that we've been using in this curriculum. So in last year we covered the book called Teach Yourself Hindi, and this year we are going over two books. This year we are covering Pingu Learns Hindi, which is the beginners level book. So from 9 to 9:30 we cover the beginners section, and from 8 to 8:30 we are covering the beginners, and then 8:30 to 9 we are covering the book from Usha Jain, which is the advanced Hindi grammar. So far we've covered some basic topics in the class, so in case if you missed anything, I highly recommend that you check out the tiny.cc page. Okay, and today the goal for this class is to cover two important things. At the beginner level we will cover the demonstrative pronoun, and in the advanced one, if you can recall, we covered a topic in Hindi previous class, which is the how to use multiple subjects. How to use multiple subjects in Hindi. So we will continue to strengthen the same topic in this class as well. And as always, whenever you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, and then we will have the discussion. Okay. Hopefully all of you can hear me okay, and if you have any audio issues, let me know and we will work through it. So with that in mind, we'll start very simple. We'll cover the demonstrative pronoun, and I'm gonna just make sure that all of you are muted. 1 minute. Awesome. So let's cover the demonstrative pronoun first. Last class we covered personal pronoun, and some of you mentioned what about these pronouns, and then I said like we'll be covering them in demonstrative pronoun next class. It's a very easy topic, okay, and we'll try to make it fun and interesting by covering some of the very useful phrases on a day-to-day basis that you use in Hindi using the demonstrative pronoun. Okay, so demonstrative pronouns are nothing but they're used to point some specific things within a sentence. Okay, they point to a specific thing in a sentence. Typically in Hindi there are 4 types of demonstrative pronoun that we have, okay, and which are nothing but yah, वह, ये, and वे. Okay, yah is in Devanagari is written as ya and ha. Vah is va and ha. Then you have 2 more, ye and ve. For these, the only thing I can tell is you have to memorize it. There is no other short way for me to give you a trick or something, but these are something that you have to remember. Okay, what do they mean? Yah is nothing but this in English. Yah. Okay, vah is that. Ye is these, and ve is those. They may seem simple, but as you see the use cases of them, they're pretty powerful, and knowingly or unknowingly Hindi speakers use them pretty regularly in their day-to-day conversation. Okay, there are more variations of it where yah and vah, it may be used in the sentence but it may not imply this, that, these and those, but these are the still the most common usage. Okay, so in case if you're saying this is a cat, or that is a school, these are children, or those are students, uh, you will be using in Hindi yeh, veh, ye and ve. Okay, uh, now how do you end it whenever you're starting a sentence with yeh? So as you say in English this is, in Hindi it's nothing but you will have yeh, fill in the blank, hai. Okay, and this is nothing but the to be form of the verb that we are using. Similarly, you have veh, you are ending it with hai. These are the most simple sentences using the demonstrative pronoun. And then you have ye, hai, and then you have ve, hai. Okay, because yeh and veh is used for singular nouns. Singular nouns, you are ending it with hai, and because ye and ve are used with plural nouns, they are ending with hai. So this is the nasalized sound that we have at the end. Okay, and so far so good, right? If anyone has any question, feel free to unmute yourself. So let's say if I have a very simple sentence which is, this is a room. Okay, this is a room. I will say yeh, I will use this template, yeh hai. Okay, now the key thing is how to use room. So either I can say, if I'm completely beginner, I don't know how to say room in Hindi, I will simply say yeh room hai. Okay, and for those of you who know the formula to find out the Hindi word for room, you can use the formula, or you can say yeh kamra hai. For complete beginner, I say you just start with the template, yeh room hai, and that's about it. We will worry about the other things as we make progress. Okay, so done. Can you tell me one sentence using this template, veh hai? Unmute yourself. Take any noun.
There has to be a thing, right?
Yeah, any noun. Yep.
Any noun.
Let's say you see a fan in your room.
Juta, shoe.
Which one? जूता है. Okay, वह जूता है. Okay, so you are saying वह जूता है और वह shoe है. Okay, that's fine. Simple, right? No need to make it complicated. Okay, Anesh ji, you want to use this template? These are, and you want to say something.
ये मेरे माता पिता जी हैं.
Okay, these are my parents. ये मेरे, my, so you are using मेरे माता पिता हैं. Okay, ये मेरे माता पिता हैं. So in between you are using a possessive pronoun. मेरे is mine, right? So we will cover this one also as in the next class, how to use more of these. But ये मेरे माता पिता हैं. Let's do this one. वे. Aneska ji, you want to tell us a sentence using this one? वे है.
जी. वे गाड़ी हैं.
Okay, वे गाड़ियां हैं because it's plural, right?
गाड़ियां.
Right, so वे गाड़ियां हैं. Okay, so you see this and this, when we are referring to them, they are plural. In this case, we are using a singular noun. Okay, so वे cars हैं, वे गाड़ियां हैं, it's all fair. Okay, so let me give you some more examples as we are warming up this class. If you're talking about that is a school, it would be, let's see, it's a simple one, so I'm going to pick someone I'm noticing it for the first time, right? Let's see. Who would like to? You can write it down if you feel uncomfortable, or if you don't want to, say it in the class. Subilai ji, that is a school. You have to unmute yourself. That is the school.
वह school है.
Okay, वह school है. And what is school in Hindi?
पाठशाला.
Okay, Pathshala is one of it. And any other word that you are aware of?
विद्यालय.
Vidyalaya, very good. So, Vidyalaya hai. It's not so commonly used these days, like people end up using the English word itself. Vah school hai. So it's all good. That is a school. Vah school hai. Okay, let's see some more. That is a river. And for those of you who know the Hindi word for it, feel free to use it, and use the chat to share the answer. That is a river. How do you say that? That is a river. Sharmila ji?
नदी है.
वह नदी है. Very good. So river is nadi. Okay, nadi. And let's say I want to say these are rivers. Who would like to tell me that? You know?
ये.
Uh-huh.
I'll do it. ये नदियाँ हैं.
Very good. ये नदियाँ हैं. So ये, if you are complete beginners, don't know how to make plural, you can either say ये rivers हैं, or as you know that in the previous class we learned about singular and plural. So nadi is the same pattern as ladki. Okay, so you have ladki, ladkiyan, beti, betiyan. Okay, similarly nadi, nadiyan. Okay, so ये नदियाँ हैं. Okay, similarly valley is wadi and valleys is wadiyan. Okay, not so commonly used except the Bollywood songs, but there you go, right? See, ये नदियाँ हैं. Those are ships. Those are ships. Let's see who would share that. Mastran ji, Modang ji, you want to tell us? Those are ships. You have to unmute yourself, and if you need more time, we can come back to. Okay, go for it. Those are ships. If you don't know ships in Hindi, use the formula and ask any of your colleague.
A ship's head.
Okay, that's fine. You remember the formula that we use in Hindi?
Ship's head.
Okay, that's good. Anyone else would like to share the formula? How do we use the formula in this case? Let's
हिंदी
see.
में ships को क्या कहते हैं?
हिंदी में ships को क्या कहते हैं? Okay, I'll write down the formula one more time here. And the rest of you can use the chat to answer that. So somebody use the formula. हिंदी में को क्या कहते हैं? And what does it mean? What does this formula is doing for you?
In Hindi, how do you say ships?
Okay, and you got the answer in the comment. हिंदी में ships को जहाज कहते हैं. So you will say, so singular is also जहाज, plural is also जहाज. So you will say वे जहाज है. Okay. Any questions so far? Anyone? I know this is simple, but now we will use the interesting one, because this is some complete beginners. How do we make it interesting for the intermediate advanced level folks?
Ashu Ji, may I add something?
Yeah, please.
Maybe you're going to tell me if it's right, but it took me time to understand that, and maybe it can help people. That because in Hindi, we usually use yeh and ye for things that are nearby us that we can show directly. And that we use vah and ve for things that are more far away from us.
That is
Am I
correct.
right?
That is correct. That's 100% correct. She's saying there is a concept of proximity. So something is close to you, you will say this is the pan, right? Similarly, something is far from you, वह globe है. So you will use that. So that is 100% correct. and that's a correct way to understand how when will you use yeh versus weh.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, colloquially, you will say like Hindi speakers used I'm trying to find out, but they will colloquially use wo for that instead of veh. You will see this, they will be using wo. Okay, so for yeh, it's instead of yeh veh, it's like wo river hai. Okay, and that's completely okay. And so even though in the books you may or may not see it, but colloquially in day-to-day conversation you will be using it as wo. Okay, wo kya kar raha hai, what is he doing? Okay, wo kahan ja raha hai, where is he, so vah is used for he she as well, vah is used for that as well, right? So wo is used here. Okay. Similarly, like again, like for this way also you will see that those are my books, wo meri kitabein hain. So even here also you will see colloquially people are using wo meri kitabein hain, those are my books. So if you want to keep it simple, feel free to use the standard one, yeh vah ye and ve, but colloquially people, Hindi speakers, get very comfortable in their own pattern and they will use that, right? Any questions before we try to use some more interesting one? They seem simple, but you will see that. Right, so now we will try to see how we can use these 4 demonstrative pronouns in a little bit more interesting manner. Some of the most commonly used sentences in your day-to-day life. Okay, so sometimes you will say in your phrases like, the question is this. The question is this. And then you will say something after that, right? How do you say that in Hindi now? The question is this. Professor Claire, you want to unmute yourself?
सवाल है blah blah blah.
Okay. Sawal yeh hai. Okay, very good. So question is nothing but sawal. Sawal yeh hai. Okay. So the question is this: who's gonna drive? Like sometimes you will say some things like that. Sawal yeh hai कि गाड़ी कौन चलाएगा? You don't worry about the second part, how to say it in Hindi, but at least like the question is this. Okay. Where are we gonna go to eat our meal or dinner? Okay, so question is this, sawal yeh hai. Okay, it seems simple, but it's used in your day-to-day life. Okay, let's keep going. And the next one I have is, what is this? You look at something and what is this? What is this? The other Claire, Claire England, how do you say this one? What is this?
ये क्या है?
यह क्या है? Very good. यह क्या है? Very good. And see, you see that like she used the colloquial one instead of yeh. You will see people using ye as well here, even though it's it's used for a singular noun, but she still used that ye kya hai, and that's what Hindi speakers do as well. Okay, yeh kya hai. So what is nothing but interrogative, which is kya in Hindi. So the template is still the same. Yeh hai. Okay, yeh nadi hai, yeh talab hai, yeh watermelon hai. But instead of that, if you're asking someone question, it's yeh kya hai. Okay, let's keep on going. Some more interesting ones. Sometimes you look at something and you say things like, this is not fair. This is not fair. Sharmila ji, how do you say that in Hindi? This is not fair.
यहाँ फेयर नहीं है, लेकिन I'm wondering what is fair in Hindi. मुझे मालूम नहीं.
मुझे मालूम नहीं. Okay.
यह ठीक नहीं है.
See, आपको मालूम है, right? That's what you did. यह ठीक नहीं है. Okay. So negative sentence, यह नहीं है. Okay. Still the same template. यह है. Okay. Instead of यह river है, you are यह river नहीं है. Okay. Now you
can we use sahi also?
What?
यह सही नहीं है. Can we use sahi?
यह सही नहीं है. That's right. You can say यह सही नहीं है. That's right. यह सही नहीं है और यह ठीक नहीं है. Okay. You use it right on a day-to-day basis. This is not fair. Okay. Or even in Hindi यह ठीक है. Okay. Let's keep going. The next one I have it for you is this apple is bad. This apple is bad. Okay, let's see someone who has not tried before. Colin, you want to tell us what is it?
Yes, but kharab hai.
Okay, very good, right? So you can use yeh and colloquially, as you said, ye, which is fine. Yeh सेब खराब है. Okay, यह सेब खराब है. खराब, it's bad, adjective. Apple is same. You still have the same template. यह है. The first thing for 100% beginner is to look at the template. This is यह है. Everything else will fit in between. Okay. Someone raise your hand. So Sarah ji, this one is your. This is Mary's dog. And everyone else, as I'm asking, some people, feel free to use the comment to answer it, right? So the okay, but Sarah ji, right? This is Mary. Okay, good. Go for it.
ये Mary का कुत्ता है.
Okay. So you still use यह है. How do you say Mary's dog in Hindi?
Mary का कुत्ता.
Very good. Mary का कुत्ता. And we learned this postposition in previous class, right? Mary's dog is Mary का कुत्ता. Now tell us, why did you use ka? Why didn't you use ki or ke?
हाँ, क्योंकि कुत्ता masculine है और singular है.
Okay, because kutta is masculine singular, you are using ka here. If this is Mary's cat, how will you say that?
Mary की बिल्ली.
Okay, so if it is cat, you will say यह Mary की बिल्ली है. Okay, if it is this is, let's say you want to say something with K. Instead of me giving you something, I want you to tell me how will you use K here.
Mary के कुत्ते.
Okay, so will you still use यह?
ये Mary के कुत्ते हैं.
Very good, right? So instead of यह, you will use plural here, right? So ये मेरी के कुत्ते हैं, right? Nasalized sound. Any questions so far? I want to make sure we are not going too fast or we are not going too slow. Everyone good so far? Okay, let's keep going. So we'll keep going and use some interesting one. So the next one I have is, this is my friend Tom. And I'm going to ask Tom to tell me this one. Okay, this is my friend Tom. Tom, you want to tell this one? How to say that in English?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
ये मेरा is it मेरा sahib?
Mera?
Tom. Or sahib Tom है.
Okay. What is friend in Hindi?
I thought it was sahib.
Dost.
Dost. Very good. Dost, right?
Dost.
Yeah. यह मेरा दोस्त टॉम है. Awesome. यह मेरा दोस्त टॉम है. Okay. This one, let's see, Rita ji, you have to tell this one, which is, this data is incorrect. This data is incorrect.
यह डेटा गलत है.
Very good. यह डेटा गलत है. यह डेटा गलत है. Okay, incorrect is nothing but गलत. यह डेटा गलत है. See, it was simple, right? But Rita ji, even for you as an intermediate advanced level, you had to still challenge yourself. Yes or no, right? Because,
Yes.
right?
Well, I'm trying to remember the words. You don't use that often,
Right.
although I use this a lot at work.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? I mean, it can be, simple topic can be refreshing for, advanced student as well. Let's keep going. We have some more time on the beginner side. So just like what is this, you have what's that as well, which you can say wo kya hai. Right? So that's, I'm not going to do that. What is that is wo kya hai or veh kya hai. Okay. Now the next one I have is, who is that man? Who is that man? Okay, I'm gonna ask someone who's not tried. Sharon ji, you want to tell us who is that man? First use the template and then we'll fill out the blanks in between. Okay, if you need more time, that's fine. Tyler ji? Okay, go for it. Sharon ji, are you ready? Okay, one more time. Who is that man? Okay, so what is the demonstrative pronoun? Which one will you use? Okay, let's start with that. Let's see. Tyler ji, you want to tell us who is that man? Okay, no worries. If you need more time too.
Ashu Ji?
Yeah, go for it. Susan ji, you are going for it.
वह आदमी कौन है?
Very good. Right. So the demonstrative pronoun you have here is वह है. Right? You're starting with that. And man is आदमी. And because it's interrogative, वह आदमी कौन है? Okay. As I said, colloquially, people will end up using instead of वह, वो as well. Okay. वो आदमी कौन है? Who is that man? Okay. Next one. This is a wonderful idea. I want all of you to try it. I want all of you to, because when I'm asking, I may not ask everyone at the same time. So the next 2-3 that I have, they're simple, but I want all of you to try it and write in the chat. So the next one, this is okay. This is a wonderful idea. So all of you try it, so that way at least I get the sense whether I'm going too fast, too simple, everything is clear or not. Those are my books. So even if you think yours is wrong, please still try it. Otherwise, there is no way for me to know whether I'm on the right track or not. So that's why it's important for you to write down or at least attempt it, right? So 1 more minute. I'm gonna have one more. That is my address. So that is my address. Some of those, you may not remember, but still give it a try. Okay, so this is a wonderful idea. Those are my books. That is my address. So I'm gonna see how folks are doing on Facebook. Great to see Tanya ji, Ahmed ji, Tarja, Vidya ji, Leah ji on Facebook. Same thing for you as well. All of you should try these 3 sentences.
हिंदी में wonderful को क्या कहते हैं?
Yeah. What do you think? Give anything. Huh?
अद्भुत.
You can use.
अद्भुत है.
You can absolutely use adbhut.
अद्भुत. ठीक है. Or idea विचार है.
Very good. Let's see how everyone is doing here.
Ashu Ji, can you do it in Devangri for wonderful?
You mean write it down?
Can you write them in wonderful? Yeah, please.
Yeah. So it's a little bit harder one, but wonderful. You can say, if you want to keep it very simple, you can say acha vichar. Okay. The other one she was using is adbhut. So you the with dash, bha with u, and then the.
Oh, okay.
Adbhut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. But if you want to keep it simple, just use acha vichar.
Ashu Ji,
Yeah.
adbhut or adbhut, bhut, ta, no one ta.
So the question is it the at the end or the at the end?
Good.
What do you guys think? More advanced students. What do you
I think it's a ta, but
is
I
it
could be wrong.
okay? Anyone else?
Ta. It's a ta.
That's a duh.
The okay. Okay, it is the, but when you're saying it, it may come across as like the adbhut. Yeah. But that's a great question actually. That's a very good question.
I've always heard it. And
I should have said it's a wonderful question. Yeah. Anyway, say it again. You were saying something.
No, I said I always thought it was a ta. I
Yeah.
always used to thought ta,
Yeah, adbhut.
not a da.
Yeah.
So
Alright, so let's see how everyone is doing. So Sharon ji said, "Yeah, अच्छा विचार है." That is correct. And then those are my books. Adbhut. Okay, so Sarah Spring is saying the. Sarah, you have any thoughts? Is it? Maybe look it up. Look it up on your, on the Google Translate what it is.
I did. I did. It's a ta.
The? Okay, so then I have
Yeah.
to. So then I have to look it up. Give me some time here, and I'm gonna look it up. Is it the or the? Okay. So just to clarify here, just to correct it, you looked it up and it is saying it's the, bhut. To me, somehow I recall this one, but let's stick with this one, the, okay? No, what is there? Adbhut. Let's see how is you guys are doing on this one. Those are my books. Ve meri kitabein hai, that's Susan ji. And the next one, that is my address. Meera ji has written, वह मेरा पता है. Great. वह मेरा पता है. Awesome. Any questions so far? Before we move on to the next topic? Okay. So the next topic we will be starting with is using multiple subjects. And I said, like in the previous class, as we were going over it, that we will continue this topic. It's a little bit advanced. So, and I want to make sure everyone is following along. Okay, so if you guys recall, when we were using multiple subjects, along with the verb was getting conjugated based on certain rules. Okay, so initially I'll start with using, the living things. Okay, we'll start with living objects, or not objects but living things. So when we said in the previous class, when you had two Ron or David, so we are shifting the gears. The next half an hour, as I said, we'll be covering the advanced intermediate topic from Usha Jain book. Okay, so when we have Ron or David, chalte hain. Okay, so two masculine singular when used together Okay, the verb here is chalna, but when you're using it, it's used as a masculine plural. I'm going to just write down the quick summary from previous class. Masculine plural. Ron or David chalte hain. Similarly, if it is two feminine singular, so you have Riya or Diya, and then you have chalti hai. So this is one is you have feminine plural, right? Riya or Diya chalti hai. Then we try to mix it up. So in this case, both masculine singular, in this case, both feminine singular. But this verb is getting conjugated for masculine plural in this case, feminine plural in this case. Now, let's say if you mix it up, then you have Ron or Diya. Ron or Diya. So masculine singular, feminine singular. In all these cases, you will default to masculine plural. Ron or Diya chalte hain. You're defaulting to masculine plural. Okay. Similarly, if I were to switch it, instead of Ron, you have Riya or Ron chalte hain. You're still going over masculine plural. So this is for living things. Okay, and if you were to add more subjects here, Riya, Ron or Roger, Riya, Ron, Roger or Sarah, you will still default to masculine plural. Right? For those, all of those, you will still use chalte hain. This is what we covered in the previous class. Okay, I want to test it out a little bit more. So far so good, right? Anyone lost here? Anyone has any questions before we jump to the practice session for this? No one? Alright. So now let's do the, so you have to remember it, okay? Because I'm going to erase it, okay? So let's say, siblings, they often fight, right? So let's say you have, instead of names here, I'm using something like brother and sister, they always fight. That is the thing here. Brother and sister, they always fight. How do you say that in Hindi? I want all of you to write it down. Brother and sister, they always fight. And for those of you who are good with Devanagari, I want you to write it down in Devanagari, just so that you can test your understanding there. Okay, Chanel ji, you ready to take this one? Brother and sister, they always fight.
भाई बहन हमेशा लड़ते हैं.
Very good. Okay, so let's write it down. So you have I or बहन, always is हमेशा, and as you can tell that she defaulted to masculine plural. हमेशा लड़ते हैं. Okay. Let's say you want to make it interesting. You want to say brother and sister, they always play with each other. It's a little bit longer. They always play with each other. Okay, let's say who would take this one. Dhanraj, you want to give this one a try? Very good. Okay, so your voice was very low, but I was able to still hear it. I'm going to still ask someone else. You are absolutely correct. Jayashri, you want to unmute yourself?
भाई और बहन हमेशा खेलते हैं.
Okay, with each other.
Not sure.
Okay, awesome. Let's see, Manohari.
No, I don't.
Okay, no worries. Let's see, Nandini ji.
एक दूसरे के साथ
Very good, right? So
भाई और बहन हमेशा एक दूसरे के साथ खेलते हैं.
awesome, right? So भाई और बहन हमेशा, I think most of you got it. हमेशा is always. हमेशा एक दूसरे के साथ, एक दूसरे के साथ. So just try to memorize this part, एक दूसरे के साथ. And then the verb is conjugating, as you guys rightly pointed out, एक दूसरे के साथ खेलते हैं. Okay?
Can you also, I'm sorry, just one quick question. Can you also say just साथ में खेलते हैं?
Yeah, you can say that. एक दूसरे के साथ, you want to say साथ में, right? You want to use a post position here, or more than that. Are you simply saying that we should be using a post position here, may, or anything else changes that you want to make in a sentence? साथ में खेलते हैं, you can say that. You know.
Ashu Ji, if you said sad, would it be like they play together? Like always play together?
So there are many variations, right? You can say भाई और बहन साथ साथ खेलते हैं, right? You don't have to. I will not really use हमेशा again because then it's sort of a redundant, right? It's showing the habitual or anyway, right? The whole point of using हमेशा is to demonstrate that it's present indefinite, something that usually happens. Okay, if I'm saying भाई और बहन साथ साथ खेलते हैं, it implies that I'm using present indefinite. It's a habit basically. So you can say that साथ साथ खेलते हैं. You can also say something that that was just mentioned. साथ में खेलते हैं, भाई और बहन साथ में खेलते हैं. That's also correct. Yeah.
Ashu Ji.
Yeah.
Is it okay to just say भाई और बहन हमेशा के साथ कहते हैं? Or is that not correct? Because ek dusre I haven't heard yet, so it's new to me.
हमेशा साथ. So if you are not heard it, if you don't feel comfortable, you can say, don't use के then, because एक दूसरे के साथ. You can say हमेशा भाई और बहन साथ खेलते हैं. You can repeat this twice. साथ साथ खेलते हैं.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you can say साथ साथ खेलते हैं. You can say साथ में खेलते हैं. Okay. Uni, you are saying something. You're raising your hand.
मेरा एक सवाल है.
Yeah.
एक साथ खेलते हैं, सही है? एक साथ.
Yes, you can say that. एक साथ में खेलते हैं. Okay. I mean, there are many ways to say it, right? I mean, so it's absolutely correct. Okay. Let's see. Now let's say. So the other thing I didn't highlight is, let's say instead of present indefinite, okay, you can use multiple subjects in other tense and forms as well. Okay. Let's say my sentence is something like, and I'm gonna ask Radhika ji to try this one out. Okay. So this one is, my husband and I will both come to meet you tomorrow. And all of you should write it down as well, as Radhika ji is working on it. My husband and I will both come to meet you tomorrow. It's a long sentence, okay? So meet you tomorrow. So as you can tell, in the previous cases, I had explicitly present indefinite. In this one is future indefinite. Okay? Yeah, Radhika.
मेरे पति और मैं दोनों कल तुमसे आपसे
Okay.
मिलना सो
it's मिलने आएंगे.
Okay. So either you can say milna with ana, or you can just conjugate milna in the future tense.
Oh, मिलेंगे.
Yes. So say it one more time, the whole thing.
मेरे पति और मैं दोनों कल आपसे मिलेंगे.
Very good, right? So you are using masculine plural in this case as well. The verb is conjugated for masculine plural. Just like hum milenge, we will meet. Hum milenge. Okay?
If it's come meet, can we say milne aenge?
You can say that. Milne aenge. Right? You are distributing that into two compound verb. Milna and then ana. So if you want to keep it simple, milenge. Okay? If you want to use more advanced one, compound verb, go for it. Milne aenge. Okay? So think of it as something simpler. This sentence is nothing but we will meet. This sentence is as simple as we will meet, which is hum milenge, right? In case if you forgot the future indefinite, it's milna. For मैं would be मैं मिलूंगा. Okay. For आप is आप मिलेंगे. Okay. For female is वह मिलेगी. For guy वह मिलेगा. But for plural हम मिलेंगे. The simple is simply this, हम मिलेंगे. Okay. Then you add more items in it. We will meet tomorrow. Then you added here हम कल मिलेंगे. Okay. Then you have added more, we will meet you tomorrow. हम आपसे कल मिलेंगे. So हम मिलेंगे becomes हम कल मिलेंगे, and from that it became हम आपसे कल मिलेंगे. Okay. From there it shifted to my husband and I. You change. What do you mean by hum? Okay. Then you classify it further. It's multiple subjects. You know, मेरा पति और मैं. Okay. Or you can say like Sarah, Colin or Dhanraj, you know, आपसे कल मिलेंगे. Group of subjects. Question? Anyone? Anya ji, you are thinking?
That's
I should
perfect for
trust
me.
G.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I should trust G.
Yeah.
I thought that all time was always at the beginning of the sentence. Is that like a rule, or maybe you can just put time anywhere in
You
a
mean
sentence?
hamesha in this case? Is that what
No,
you're...
like kal, like tomorrow.
No, it's not like that. I mean, there might be cases where you kal hum aapse milenge, but you can put it elsewhere as well. Yeah. Sarah ji, question, and then Uni, your question.
Can you say like मेरा पति और मैं दोनों कल आपसे मिलने के लिए आएंगे?
Yeah, you can say that. मिलने के लिए आएंगे, for meeting you. Yeah. Uni?
Oh yeah, I also have a same question. Will आपसे मिलने के लिए आएंगे?
One more time, Uni. You know.
Okay, मेरे पति और मैं दोनों कल आपसे मिलने के लिए आएंगे.
मिलने के लिए आएंगे. You can say मिलने के लिए.
Okay, thank you.
मिलने के लिए. मिलने के लिए. I think that's what Sarah is also saying. मिलने के लिए. For meeting. मिलने के लिए आएंगे. For. Okay. Sarah, you have one more comment, question?
Oh, no.
Okay, good. Awesome. So let's keep going. We have some more time, so I'm gonna... This is still the living things here. Okay. Something that we didn't cover in the previous class, I want to give some time to that one. And then we will go to the non-living items if we have time. Okay. So far we have covered, you know, things that are multiple subjects that are joined with or. Okay. मेरा पति और मैं, Sarah or Rita, Tom or Colleen, right? There always the and is there, okay? What if it is A or B? Where you have Tom or Sarah. Tom या Sarah. So either one of them, okay? How will the verb conjugation work? Okay, so let's say you have Tom or Sarah, not or yeah, Sarah ya Tom. How will it work out then? Okay, let's say you go to a restaurant, and you want to say either you will chai ya doodh, and then you have to use the form of milna, which is like to get. Now the question is, which form will you use? Will you use milega, milegi, milenge, or something else?
Milega.
Okay, why milega?
I believe it matches the noun that's closest to the verb.
Okay. So the rule here is that's right.
Matches dude.
So the rule is when multiple subjects are used or separated by either or, such as ya is written in Devanagari is ya with a. In formal Hindi, it is also called athwa. A, th, v with a. Athwa. I would say right now, till you are very comfortable, don't use it. Try to stick with simpler one, yeah. Okay. So the rule, as Sarah mentioned, is when they are separated with or, the verb is conjugated with the noun closer to the verb. So doodh is close to the verb. Doodh is considered masculine singular. That's why it's used as chai ya doodh milega. Okay?
Ashu,
Yeah.
that I never heard that atwa. How do you use that atwa in a sentence?
Just like this, chai athwa doodh, milega.
Is it
Yeah.
common? People they use, or is it a very Shuddh Hindi?
It's a Shuddha Hindi. It's a Shuddha Hindi. Yeah. Newspaper.
So Ashu Ji?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Back to the other topic. The chain do the inanimate. So is
that's
this
right.
the same with
Right, that's what
living people?
So this is regardless of we will cover the other as well, right? So you're absolutely right. This is non-living things. How will it change if you have like mera bhai? So let's say same thing you have, and the sentence is you have meri behan ya main, and you have to use the form of the verb to come, ana, in the future tense. Meri sister, my sister, feminine, ya or main. I'm saying it. Let's say I'm saying it. Which form of the verb will you be using? Will it be या मैं आऊंगा, आएंगे, okay, आओगे, or something else?
Aunga.
Okay, anyone else? So as this example was all non-living thing, this is living thing. मेरी बहन या मैं.
Only one person is coming though.
Yeah. So which one will you use? Sorry, I have to add one more. आएगी. So I got one answer, which is आऊंगा. Anyone else? Okay, anyone else would disagree?
Unga.
Okay, anyone else disagree with this?
Aega.
Okay, aega, that's one person, aega. Okay, so one person saying aegi, one person is saying aenge. Anyone else?
I think it's aunga also.
Okay, assuming that मैं is male. Okay, I think one more question or one more comment was coming.
No, I thought, if May is Ashu Ji, if you're saying that.
Yes, that's right.
Aunga. If I'm going to say Aungi.
That's right.
Meri behan. Or Meri bai ya May Aungi.
That's right. So the answer is this first one. Either you can say aunga or you can say aungi depending on who is this मैं. If I'm saying it like मेरी बहन या मैं आऊँगा, if Radhika ji is saying it, then she'll say मेरी बहन या मैं आऊँगी. Okay. Why so? Because two nouns separated by or. Ya. So think about it. This is not and. This is not like multiple subjects coming together. It's either or. So in this case, the verb is really going by the noun closer to the verb. Okay. So think of it as this is simply nothing but मैं आऊँगा. Forget about what it's coming in before. Okay. मैं आऊँगा या मैं आऊँगी. Okay. या मैं आता हूँ. Okay. या think about it like let's say you were singing. मेरी बहन या मैं, instead of आऊँगा it would be गाऊँगा. Right? मेरी बहन, my sister, or I will sing. Okay, Nandini ji, your comment?
If it's मेरी बहन या say if it's Radhika also. मेरी बहन या Radhika आएगी.
That's right.
If I'm talking about someone else, so just follow that.
That's right. So verb is still, forget about like this, anything before ya doesn't even exist. So you use the form as just like as Radhika. So for Radhika we always say Radhika आएगी. Right? So you are really going by that.
Thank you.
The rule is really made to simplify, but for your case, if you don't remember the rule, whenever there is a ya, you ignore the subject before that. You just rely on what's coming after ya.
So Ashu Ji, if it's मेरा भाई या मेरी बहन आएगी.
That's right. मेरी बहन आएगी. That's right.
Very simple.
Taraji, you want to make a sentence using ya? Take two living things or non-living things separated by ya.
मेरी दोस्त और मैं
या not all. या
मेरी दोस्त या मैं खाना खाऊंगी.
Okay, so your sentence is मेरे दोस्त.
Yes.
मेरे दोस्त या मैं खाना खाऊंगी.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. खाऊंगी. So it's just like मैं खाना खाऊंगी. मेरे दोस्त या मैं खाना खाऊंगी. Okay, grammatically correct. Awesome. Anyone else? I know we are slightly going over time. We didn't get to practice the non-living things which are joined together, but that's fine. I'm going to post it as a homework for all of you. So I'm going to just do two more here, just so that you guys can have something to, So you have, let's say two people are playing. You have Ron or Rita. Either Ron or Rita will win. So you have Ron, Ya, Ria. Let's say you have the verb here, Jeetna. Jeetna is to win. So Ron, Ya, Ria, you have to use it. Okay, that's number one. Second one is Ria, Ya, Ron. Someone who's not tried before, let's say, someone who's, I didn't get a chance to talk to. Risha ji, You want to tell us what is this? Ron ya Ria will win. Rishaji and Tisinaji, I think I didn't get a chance to talk to you so far. So I'm going to ask you. Ron ya Ria? Yeah, very good. Ria is feminine singular, so it would be Jeetegi. Jeetegi. There is no nasalized. Okay, next one. Tisinaji. Ria ya Ron? Very good. Jeetega. You can be loud. It's okay. Okay, don't doubt yourself. You are absolutely correct. Okay. So I'm gonna pause it. The Facebook one. Thanks so much for who joined on Facebook. We'll meet again next Sunday. Give me one.